What is up, guys? Rick Cacus here, and today we are going to be talking about what's next for Anthem because BioWare has released their roadmap. Similar to Destiny 2's roadmap, this details all of the updates, changes, DLC, and content that is going to be hitting Anthem in the next 90 days, and that is the time frame they outlined for this roadmap. So this covers basically what's happening right now, today, changes still ongoing from 90 days from now, so around the 3-month period. So we're going to go over this roadmap and discuss the content within. And so let's get started with the first section, which is reoccurring updates. These are things that are going to be happening along the way. Firstly, we have fixes, improvements, and optimizations under quality of life, so generally improving the state of the game. Next, we have rewards via weekly alliance coin. Then we have challenges, the rotation of daily, weekly, and monthly challenges. And lastly, we have the rotation of the in-game cosmetic store. So that's pretty much what's to be expected. Then for February 2019, so that's what we're in right now, and not only that's what we're in, that's what we're near the end of. But we have the new Outlaw Outrage free play event. This, I believe, already happened. This was available for players when it was early access on PC only. What's happening right now, however, is the new free play event, There Be Giants, and this is actually a big deal. It's making Titans spawn a lot more frequently, and because Titans, when you kill them, they're guaranteed to drop 2 pieces of loot, it's actually been fantastic for gearing up and farming in free play. So if you haven't tried that, get into free play, Grandmaster 1 or 2 especially, and just rail on some Titans and you're going to get some fantastic loot. I know I definitely have. And then we have another event, Shaper Surge. Not exactly sure what that entails, but that's going to be another cool event that impacts free play. But then coming next month in March, and remember, okay, like February definitely didn't look too great in this update, but it's almost over in just a couple of weeks. So starting in March, we're going to get some much more substantial updates to Anthem. Firstly, we have new cosmetics in the Elysium Stronghold caches. And don't worry, you don't have to buy these cosmetics or anything. The developers talked about this on stream, and essentially to spice up Strongholds, what's going to happen is that you're going to have to do your daily challenge and then you're going to be rewarded with a key. You can take this key into a stronghold, and at the end of that stronghold, once you've defeated the boss, you're going to have the option to open up one of these Elysian chests, which is going to contain exclusive cosmetics. So it's not going to be repurposed cosmetics that were from the store, it's going to be cosmetics for your javelin that you can only get for doing these strongholds. And I actually think that's a fantastic change. Number one, it's going to encourage way more people to actually complete a stronghold in its entirety. Right now, a lot of people are getting the first 1 or 2 chests and then backing out. And it's just going to keep people grinding and offer some sweet exclusive rewards. But moving on from there, the next thing is just new items as rewards. This, I think a lot of people are going to gloss over, but this is super exciting. Notice the background is actually a decrypting masterwork item. So this means that already next month in March, we're going to be getting new masterworks and probably legendaries as well, because legendaries are often just better versions of those masterworks. That is so huge. And I am really excited to be seeing this so soon, because the introduction of new items, especially masterwork and legendary items, can change the entire game. I mean, if a new weapon is introduced that is one of the best weapons out there, that's a huge deal. If a skill is introduced, it doesn't even have to be a new skill. A skill with a new masterwork perk is introduced, that can change how builds function. Heck, it can create brand new builds. If we have a new masterwork lightning bolt for the storm, for example, that's really, really powerful, well then previously there may not have been a lightning bolt build, but now with this new one, well, you're going to equip another skill that lets it combo. You're going to equip the different components that increase lightning damage. You can have whole new builds arise because of this. So actually a pretty big deal they're doing this. But moving on from there, some more changes. We have the introduction of Legendary Missions Phase 1. This is something, again, the developers talked about on stream, where people want more to do in the end game, because there really isn't that much. There's free play, then there's legendary contracts, and then there's strongholds, and that's it. but they're now going to be introducing legendary missions, which is going to allow you to replay certain missions from the critical path on a higher difficulty and get better rewards. Great, that's just more things to do. And then moving on from there, we have a new free play event. This one is Cortex locked for some reason, so it'll be something different than the Outlaws or the Shaper Storm or the There Be Giants, because actually after that we have both There Be Giants and Outlaw Outrage actually listed. And then lastly, we have another free play event, which they haven't unveiled yet. So that's what's happening in March. Moving on from there, the next month, April, here's what's coming. Firstly, an expanded progression update with a mastery system. Really interested to see how that works, but notice the background is the difficulties. So we're potentially going to be getting either more difficulties or maybe some in-between difficulties to make a smoother transition, maybe just other things to do in the game, but that's actually pretty exciting for the end game. Then we've got another tab for new rewards. Already explained how big this can actually be, but that's another fantastic thing. Hopefully, it's not just new Masterworks, so on. It's actually brand new skills. That would be really, really cool. Moving on from there, we have some free play events. Cortex locked, Cortex locked, Cortex locked. We have another Shaper Surge, and then more free play events. They're not really telling us what's coming. It is kind of cool it's locked, I will say, just because it does mean that they're different from what we've seen before. We see that if it is Shaper Surge or something we've already seen, they list it, but Cortex Locked means it's something new, which is kind of cool. We also get, in this same month, Legendary Missions Phase 2. So we're going to get even more Legendary Missions, and then after that, pretty exciting, we have a brand new Stronghold, The Sunken. That's a pretty decent chunk of content. Strongholds are pretty sweet, and also hopefully this Stronghold will contain its own unique cosmetic gear that you're going to be getting at this point because of the Elysium Stronghold chests. After that, we have the introduction of the weekly Stronghold challenge. So maybe similar to the weekly Nightfall, a certain Stronghold is going to be featured as the weekly Stronghold that you want to do, and then that's going to offer better than normal or potentially exclusive rewards. So that's actually a pretty big update in and of itself. The introduction of a new Stronghold, and now we have weekly Stronghold challenge. And then lastly, we have two social play things. We have the introduction of leaderboards and the introduction of guilds. So those are going to be introduced as well. Leaderboards would, I assume, go hand in hand with that weekly Stronghold challenge. Who can get the most score in the world for that week? Then, moving on from there, in May 2019, we have the start of the Cataclysm. As you can see here, the Cataclysm is Anthem's version of a raid. However, it's not that comparable to a Destiny raid, but the developers have said, similar to Destiny's raids or other games' raids, this is Anthem's aspirational content. This is the thing you want to gear up for. This is the thing, the pinnacle of what you're going towards in the end game. So I'm really excited to see what that brings. Could suck, could be phenomenal. I have no idea about what's going on with that Cataclysm, but it arrives. Aside from that, we've got some new things here. We've got another free play event, we've got new missions, and we've got new rewards. And hopefully some of those new items are tied to the Cataclysm, like certain legendaries or certain Masterworks you can only get in the Cataclysm, and that would make this event so much more special, and it would make this content so much more desirable. So there we have it. That is what is coming to Anthem in the next 90 days. And remember, it's all free. You don't have to pay for any of this stuff aside from obviously buying the base game. And what are my thoughts on all this? Well, frankly, I have two main thoughts. Number one, this content actually looks pretty darn good. The introduction of new items is huge. People are going to gloss over that, but it can change and create builds just by its inception. But we also have a new Stronghold, we have new social features, we have a ton of free play events, and considering this free play event with the Here Be Giants actually matters, and it's making the game a little bit different to play, I'm excited to see the other ones. So content-wise, it's actually looking pretty good. Timing-wise, that is my problem with this, because the game right now, it needs a Cataclysm, it needs the Elysium chests, it needs all this stuff, And frankly, and I know a lot of people are going to be saying this, and I think it's a fair argument to say that this stuff should have been in the game at launch. You know, this is the kind of things that we really needed from Anthem right off the get-go. So the content that's coming again is actually looks very, very good, and I'm excited for it. But the fact that we have to wait several months until Cataclysm is a huge downside. However, you know, it's not as big of a punch in the gut as, you know, I would even say a game like Destiny, where you have to wait for the good content and also have to pay for it. That's the thing about Anthem. If you play it, get bored, and are like, yeah, I'm gonna wait until Cataclysm, you can come back with Cataclysm for absolutely no charge. The only thing is that, do you want to buy a game originally, you know, right now that needs this content? Or would it make more sense to wait until, you know, Cataclysm arrives and then you get Anthem in May and it actually has all these features that we've just listed? Honestly, that seems like it makes a lot of sense to me. Hopefully, you know, maybe one day we'll get to a point where games release with all the content that they require, and then we can talk about additional content and not release content light and instantly people are looking to what's coming, which is the case with Anthem, which was the case with The Division, which was the case with Destiny. My goodness, you know, developers, please take a little bit more time in the future. However, that's what's coming in Anthem. Those are my thoughts on it. I hope you guys are now more informed about the situation. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Anthem content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below. And again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.